Hello again, and thank you for visiting my page, World Issues Organization. And what I'd like to further discuss today is education and what people have viewed education as and what we need to view education as today so that we can move forward. Education has basically been viewed as a business. School is no longer a necessity. It is a business. The reason why I say this is because I can see it in my mind and I understand that people, students, need to come together and they need to stop paying for school. They need to stop going to school. They need to stop investing in school because at the end of the day, let's face it, you put in thousands and thousands of dollars into your education, yet you finish school with a diploma and a degree, a paper that basically says you went to school and you got these marks and now you expect a job. What people have failed to understand is that there's 7 billion people in this world and not everybody is going to have a successful career. Not everyone's going to find a job. Not everybody is meant to be a lawyer or a doctor. Some people are just meant to be bums, or they're meant to be artists, or they're meant to just be homemakers. Maybe you want to be one of those people that is a doctor or a lawyer or a famous person or whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be is whatever you want to be, not what anybody else wants you to be. Because at the end of the day, you are going to end up feeling stressful, depressed, overwhelmed, and not happy because you are living somebody else's life. You're not living what you want to live. Okay? So, I want people to watch this video and I want them to hear me out. And I'd like to start a movement. It's going to be called Free Education. Now, if you're in school or you've paid for school and you're worried that this isn't going to work out, now it's going to work out because we need to make a change. And the first thing that anybody needs to realize when they make a change is that there's a problem. We have a problem. It might not be something that you see as a problem because, you get up every day and you go to school and you don't really care because not everybody else understands. But once I tell you the facts, you're going to say, I think she's right. I think we have to make a change. We need to do something. So let me talk about an average scenario. Okay, an average scenario is you get up at 6 in the morning, you get ready for school, you have to be in class, and you're in a university class. Now, within your university class, now I can't really say, but I've done my research, that in university classes, you have at least maybe 100 or 200 pupils, and you have one professor. In a business, and if you understand business, a lot of the times, people want to produce as much as they can for as little money as possible. Now, if I'm getting, let's say, $5,000 from each 100th student that is in my class, for every student, say there's 100, I get $5,000 from all these students. Now, if I go on my phone, and let's do this because I want to be very technical here. Okay, I'm going to open my calculator here. All right, and I'm going to do some math. I'm not I'm in the calculation generation, and we need calculators to actually understand things because that's how they programmed us. I'm sorry, but they programmed us in a way where we need to use calculators. So I'm going to say for every student, each student's paying $5,000 a year to be in school. So 5,000, okay, times that by 100. let's see how much money that is. That's $500,000 for 100 students. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I'm sorry, but folks, that's a lot of money. I don't know how we could be giving the government $5,000. Sorry, that's not 5,000. That's $500,000, people. Okay, $500,000. This is ridiculous. I mean, it has to stop. It has to stop, okay? Because this money should be going towards what? Free education, should it not? That's a lot of money. The other thing I want to emphasize is that a lot of students are pressured. They're pressured after they leave high school. They're pressured when you're 17 years old and you finish high school. The teacher says, okay, guys, fill out what you want to do in university. At that point, you have to know what you want to do in university. You have no choice. And your parents are down your back saying, Joanne or Paul, hello, you need to go to school. You need to carry on the family's name. We need money. You need to go to school. You need to make something of yourself. Some of these students feel like they don't want to go to school. They drop out of school. They go to school and they drop out of school because they are not happy. They do not want to be pressured. Do not pressure someone into doing something. When somebody feels like they're ready to make a name for themselves or become something that they want to be, they will do that when they're ready. But there's no need to force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. It's not right and it's not ethical. I'm sorry. Now, the government may argue and say, well, we provide OSAP. I want the government to take time and fill out all those OSAP papers and all the things that they have to go through just to apply to school. Why does it have to be so hard to apply to school? It should be easy. I should be able to go and say, listen, I want to take this course. Let's do it. Secondly, there should not be 100 students in one class. I don't care if it's university or not. People should be able to be in small groups because that's how people learn. People can only learn if they have individual attention on them. Some people learn differently. Some people learn through hearing. Some people learn through seeing. Some people learn through talking. Some people learn through groups. Some people learn through personal experiences. Now, most of the stuff that I'm talking about, it's from personal experience. I didn't read a book. I didn't, go online and type everything up, and most of it's from my own experience, and I've experienced a lot of things. Now, I may have not experienced going to university or going to college, but I have friends that go to school and they tell me about these things, and I've done a little bit of research because I've had to do the research, but it's common sense. You're not in a class with 6 people. You're not in a class with 8 people. You're in a class with 100 people, and you're paying $5,000. Okay. Now, the second portion of how I can better this situation. What I'd like to do is I'd like people, if they're willing, if they feel that what I'm saying makes sense, we need to create our own schools, our own independent student. Now, this is what Occupy Toronto has done. They've created their own databases. They've created their own housing, their own stuff, because they want to prove to the government that, listen, we don't need you. All you've been doing is causing havoc and pain for us. Now, if I could create a group, it doesn't have to be a group of 1,000 people. It could be a group of 20 people, 30 people, maybe even 100 people. And we incorporate the people that can't find jobs. Now, let's say you went to school and you went to school for finance, but you can't find a job because the economy is in shambles. You can come and volunteer and be your own teacher and make your own group and talk about your own stuff about finance or business or whatever you enjoy doing, and have a group of 6 people. And within that group of 6 people, you can basically talk about, maybe you want to do some research over the internet. in the libraries. We don't need to go to university to do it. We can go to a library and we can study out of a library, out of a book, okay? And I can go on the internet and I can do research. I don't need a professor who's been in a university for 20 years to teach me these things, because you know what the professor is going to say to you? Go and research it yourself. That's what he's going to say to you. He's going to say, go and research your own stuff. I'm just going to grade it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to see if you did it right. And at the end of the day, you're going to do it anyways, whether somebody is there to monitor you or not. I mean, you're a 25-year-old student. You've been in university for 5 years. You don't need someone to monitor you. All you need is feedback from your other people in your group. So you have group A, and then group A does financing. Group B does arts. Group C does law. Group D does sciences, and group E does mathematics. I mean, it's very simple. We don't need to be in university or be in a college to say, oh, okay, well, we need John Doe to tell us, you know, we did excellent, because, you know, no. Because all education is a business, and it's remembering stuff. Remember what you learned out of the textbook and show me that you understand it. When somebody is learning something, you don't pressure them to learn. They learn in their own time. Everybody learns at their own pace. When I was in school, I had an IEP. That represents independent IEP, independent education diploma, or independent learning, okay? And I had a lot of issues. I still have a lot of issues when it comes to learning. But a lot of the things in my school didn't challenge me. I wasn't challenged enough. And I think that if we're challenged more and we're in smaller groups, we can be challenged more by working with other people that are on our levels and working with that group. Because once you work with a group more and more, you become more immune, or you become more understanding of the group. Because as it does, it takes time for people to adjust within settings and within groups. It takes a lot of time. And when you're in a group of 100 people, it's very overwhelming. It's like Aristotle. They had little groups, and they'd go to the park, and they would sit outside in the sun, and they would talk about these issues. They didn't have internet. They didn't have libraries. Well, I mean, they had libraries, but they didn't have the things that we have today. We have a lot of resources, a lot. So what I don't understand, and maybe you can comment and help me understand, is why do we need to go to school? Why do we need to be in a college or university with 100 people or 20 people and pay $5,000? Why do we need to do that? And then on top of that, we go to school, we do all this schooling, and then we can't even find a job. What am I supposed to do? Tell me, because I really want to know. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I paid $5,000. I've been going to school for 10 years. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That's $50,000 in 10 years. I could have saved that $50,000 and I could have made my own bloody business. Why do I need to go to a school and give you my money and prove to you that I am smart or that I am capable of doing a specific job? I don't understand why. And I really want someone to answer this question for me, because I'm very confused as to why. It doesn't make any sense to me. And this is why I've chose not to go to school. I've chose to make my own money the way I need to make my own money and do what I need to do. Because it makes absolutely no sense to me. And the problem is, people get up and they still give their money away to this government. Education is a right. It is a right, just like food is a right, water, clean clothing, clean house, a bed to sleep in, health care. These are all rights. Did everybody forget about it? Did everybody forget that education is a right? And we have a right to free education? I'm a Canadian citizen. I should have a right to have free education. I mean, come on now. This is a real big issue. I'm going to be starting a petition I'm going to be going around to different colleges and universities. I'm going to have a paper, and I'm going to give my YouTube address, and I'm going to have students, if they're interested, to check my video out. And I want to create a specific day, perhaps very soon, where we will be boycotting colleges and universities. And